Hey guys, I love you all, and I'm just going to say this before we get into this next episode of the podcast. I'm really sorry that I dropped the ball and didn't get these out in a timely fashion throughout the year. It feels like I've been on ice all year because of different things and being really busy and stuff like that. I know we're all busy, and that's a terrible excuse, but here they are. Hopefully we're going to have the next couple in the next couple of days leading up to the festival. I love you all. I'm so excited to see you guys in about a week. So here's to Party Room 5.
Just walking around. Just walking around.
Hi, Mitch. Hello. Are you ready to talk about the Party Room Film Festival?
This is why you want to come to a coffee shop, isn't it? We talked about doing a date day, and she's like, yeah, my friend told me about this cool coffee shop. I'm like, I'm the friend.
It's true.
Well, Mitchell.
Hey.
Welcome to the PRFFP Season 3 with me. What?
Sorry, you made me say the whole sentence, and I didn't know we could abbreviate it.
The PRFFP Season 3, which actually rhymes really well. I haven't said that part yet because I didn't realize it was like Season 3 until actually I edited a different episode. So, yeah. Welcome. Are you surprised?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Because I was worried that you might like catch up on a little bit because I just released Tanner's episode yesterday.
Well, no. So everybody's like sitting there like, where's it gonna come from? So I never suspected anything, like, even though, like, super weird for Holly to be like, let's go to a coffee shop. I never suspected anything because I'm like, well, it wouldn't be the day after, like, it. So, yeah, it wouldn't be the day after the
first one
podcast
just
came out.
Yeah.
So, yes, complete surprise.
Which means, really, I'm going to have to be, like, as this progresses and more episodes come out and more people see this, I'm going to have to be even more circumspect and more sneaky, like, and start throwing, like, probably false leads or something, so that, like, coordinate with wives to throw off the scent a little bit more, so that then I can truly surprise people.
I know in the last one you talked about, like, I'm gonna just, like, everybody's in Lexington, so I'm gonna go down there and do, like, a whole thing. I'm like doing multiple at one time is cool, but, like, to make all of those a surprise.
Already did it.
I did? Oh, did you?
Okay. Well,
I'm behind.
not all of them, but we got 3 in one weekend.
Nice.
And all of them were a surprise, so that worked out really well. I cannot wait for episode 3 to come out. What?
Sworn to secrecy.
Yeah, sworn to secrecy at this point.
That's fine.
Mum's the word. You have not been edited or interviewed at this point. If anyone asks, until your episode comes out.
So it's funny. Last night I was talking to Sam on the phone, and I was like, "Have you been talked to?" And Sam's like, "Have you been talked to?" So, like, we were, like, quizzing each other. Like,
that's amazing.
Sam's sitting there. He's like, "I know you've been talked to." I'm like, "I haven't."
Yep. Well, now you have.
Yeah.
And I'll let you know that you can ask Sam now because Sam has been interviewed.
Yeah.
His episode will be coming out next week. So, at the time of this recording.
He's such a jerk.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've been feeding him things to say in the chat to like cause mayhem.
I love that.
So it's been a lot of fun so far. But yeah,
I love it.
So, all right, we'll get into this.
Awesome.
One thing that I realized starting this year, when I talked to Tanner, and you heard it in the episode, it's been 10 years since we've known each other.
Yes.
Which is freaking crazy. A lot of people's relationships with people in college, like, they'll have 1 or 2 people that they'll connect with and stick around and, like, be friends with for years after college. We have 14 guys, minus 1 if you count Landers, because Landers just keeps falling off the face of the earth.
He's around.
He's around.
I'm
gonna do everything I can to get him on the podcast. We'll see how that goes. He'll probably be like the last one that I'm able to track down. But yeah, we've known each other for 10 years.
I know.
And been doing Party Room Film Festival now for almost 5 of it.
Actually, you and I have known each other longer because you were there the year before a lot of the other people got there. Because remember?
Yeah. So you, me, Tanner, and Sam.
Yeah, we've known each other for 11.
For 11 years, technically. Yeah. Which is insane.
I know. It's crazy.
And so it's been a lot of fun. So I wanted to also, like, I'm going around to catch everybody in person. I wanted to start each episode a little bit, and I've failed to do this with Tanner, but we got to it eventually, with what have you been doing now since college? Like, what are you doing now? How's work? How's life? You just had a freaking kid,
I know.
which is amazing. So
how much time do we have?
well, 45 minutes to an hour, 10 minutes is where I'm going.
So, I was a life server in restaurants for several years before I moved back up here. Just couldn't make stuff happen in Lexington. So I moved back up here. I shot real estate for 4 years.
Oh, nice. Good work.
It was good. It was a good job. It was a little lonesome. Like, I came back to Ohio, left everybody in Kentucky. And when I did that job, I didn't realize how much I was going to be by myself. So it was a good job. It paid well. I was living at home at the time, so I was like raking in money, but I'm not raking in people. So after like 4 years of that, I kind of got tired of it. I stopped. I took a year, and I worked at a camera store for a little while, and then I substitute taught.
Okay.
I loved being a substitute teacher.
Really?
Really considered going and getting my teaching license because I loved it that much. And then towards the end of like subbing, I just had a couple things come up like that made me be like, maybe this isn't really the thing I want to do. So, right at the end of substitute teaching, the real estate people recontacted me and asked if I wanted to come back and do some stuff because they had lost some people. So I did that, and that kind of ran into the job I'm at currently, working at... I don't work on the news. I work at a news station just on another show that they do. So yeah, that's the very abbreviated, like, what I do professionally. But, all of those jobs like kept me so busy. Like the real estate job specifically, like I would be out all day, get home around 5, 6, and then I would have to go through catalog, upload, do all kinds of stuff. So I really wasn't done until like 8 o'clock at night or something. And I would start at like 7 or 8 in the morning. So just like for those 4 years, like I didn't have much of a life in that time, but I tried to get out as much as I could. But I linked up with a couple churches in that time, made some friends. Subsequently, those friends ended up leaving and doing other stuff. So it was just a flow. And then in 2020, I met Holly. So the camera's on me. Holly's right back over there. But I met Holly, and that was its own adventure itself.
Awesome.
So, and that's a whole nother like fun story with everything that we've been through, everything that we've done. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, we did have a kid. He's 6 months old.
Holy
6.5 months old.
7 months old on Friday.
On Friday? Oh yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
I almost have a 7-month-old.
And he's going to be at the Party Room Film Festival this year.
He's not.
Well, he's not? Oh.
He's not. So we weren't able to go to the last one because he was ripe. He just came out.
Right.
Thank you for that.
He just...
I don't know that a lot of people, especially your wife included, consider ripe to be an excellent adjective for your child.
He was fresh.
Sitting on the couch tonight.
But so he's brand new. So we missed out on that. Holly missed out on the one before that. The first time we were at Zach's because that was her bridal shower, right? Bachelorette party. So she hasn't been to the last two. I wasn't at the last one. So this next one, we want to go as kind of like a little vacation for ourselves.
Nice. Okay.
And plus, I'm like, I don't want
to be on baby duty.
I don't want to be on a baby duty, but I also don't want to cause like a distraction. Especially because it's like such a big year. It's an anniversary. Like everybody's gonna try and be there. I just want it to kind of like be its own thing. And then after that, I'm like, he'll probably pop up subsequently after that. But this one,
I totally understand that, especially like if you can get somebody that can watch him for those couple days, like absolutely, like
I think we're already set up, aren't we? Yeah, we're already set up for the festival.
We're so excited to have you. Heather and I booked it like Labor Day out like at the like before the beginning of the year. We were like, okay, because last year we were in Mexico for a wedding,
Yeah.
and so we were like, yeah, we're not doing that again, because like when we were getting up to the trip, we were like, Mexico, Party Room Film Festival, Mexico.
Now,
What?
We were glad to go back.
We were absolutely glad to go to Mexico, but it was like we were talking at one point. We were like, should we just not and go to Party Room? But realistically, it was an easy choice. Mexico was amazing.
Mexico.
Oh, absolutely. But we were sad that we couldn't be there with all you guys.
Of course.
We Skyped it.
Yeah, we did too. We were so sad. Like, but nah, yeah, it's great. Everything's been great with him.
Good.
He's a thing.
I'm sure. I resonate. Heather and I both probably resonate a little bit with what you talked about moving back to Ohio, because we moved back to Ohio similar time, and
2018 is when I moved back.
yeah, I think that's the same roundabout when we moved back too. And yeah, like being in an environment like Asbury with a lot of very creative people, and having that just like especially when you're in a creative field, having that like community of creative people and artists really around you is so inspiring. And then like you don't realize how important that is until you leave that kind of environment.
Yep.
And so like getting back into doing the Party Room Film Festival has been like so amazing for that same reason, because it gives us like, whether it's like in the Discord or like chatting with you like this, like, or just like the constant thing that Party Room is, just gives you that little bit of an environment that like can bolster that creativity. And seeing the things that the guys are doing like in their professions, like Aaron, I can't wait to talk to Aaron about the documentary that he did last year.
know.
It's so cool.
It's a whole feature.
It's a whole feature. I'm so excited for him. I'm thinking about using that. Well, actually, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to bleep that out. But it's just amazing that he's been able to do that, and it looks so good.
It does.
And seeing some of the stuff that Andrew's doing, the stuff that like Zach and Josiah are doing, like it's so cool to see what everybody's doing. I mean, you're doing awesome stuff.
And see, that's the thing, like, that's the reason, like, I love that we have kept the festival going, because it gives me an excuse 1 year to just do something that isn't for work, isn't for this. It's just my own thing.
Yep.
Because my job, it's a very set format,
Yep.
like the stuff that I do. So I don't really get as much chances to like flex my muscles and do like big fun stuff. My day's like a daily grind kind of thing.
Yeah.
So like something like this, I think about it a lot more than maybe some other people do, because I'm like, I don't have many outlets for my own stuff.
own creativity.
Yeah.
And being able to do Party Room where like there's literally like there's deadlines, but there's no restrictions, like realistically, and like
The deadline is 3 weeks after the due date.
yeah, pretty
Yes.
much. And we can be very creative with it. Like it's not. I mean, so much of what pays the bills in video production is a lot of talking head stuff.
Which is funny because I love talking head stuff.
I do too. I enjoy it a lot, but like I also enjoy doing the Party Room stuff.
Yeah.
And doing something that's kind of off the wall or creative is a lot of fun. So getting into last year,
Yes.
we bullied you into actually making something successfully.
You can ask Holly. Up until 2:00 that day, like the last day, until they're like, we can't take anything else. Smooth.
Just me spilling my coffee here.
It's okay. No, up until like 2:00 that day, I was fully like, I'm not submitting anything. And like, I just saw like more and more like chat stuff, and I'm like, I have to do something.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be involved in some way. So yeah, that was like 30 minutes. I just sat there, looked around, like, what can I do? And I just did what I did.
Okay. I have to ask, why did you throw the camera? Why? It like it was perfectly working, correct?
Yes.
That's not true.
It did work. The batteries were not in it. It had been, so the little
There was
fib,
something on it that was broken. I can't remember what it was, but there was something.
the little fib I told was I had just bought it.
Okay.
So it had been sitting in the closet for a while. It did work. It did work. There was a piece on it that did not work. It did work.
It did function as a camera.
It did function, but I have since gotten other film cameras that were like my regular users.
Okay.
So
but
I saw
why-
that camera as expendable. and I needed something that was like,
Question.
yes,
In Star Trek, they have red shirts.
Yes.
Do they just push them down the stairs?
I mean, they can if they want to.
No, they don't, because it's a waste.
It's okay. It served its
We have a whole
purpose.
shelf
We have so many shelves of cameras because we collect
being
them.
used.
I have camera.
It's broken. It's fine.
I mean, sure, if it's broken and you can still display it and it makes you feel good,
Yeah.
that's fine. But to take something and purposefully make it then no longer work
It's our
is
business.
sad.
It served the purpose that I needed it for.
Mr. Quirky Mentor.
Yes, it served. I always wondered why I held on to that camera after I got it, because I never used it after
Gotcha.
like the first 2 times I used it.
Yeah.
And that was the reason it came into my being. I did not pay for that camera.
Oh, okay, that's a little bit
I
better.
was given that camera when I worked at the camera store.
Okay,
so
that's a bit better.
I lost no money on that. Now the film, on the other chance, that I did lose money on that.
Yeah, and
So-
you ruined that Kodak stopped making film.
Kodak Gold runs $14.95 a roll,
Yeah,
something like that.
and they stopped making it.
No,
Did
they make Kodak Gold.
Okay, it's one of the other ones that
There's
they don't
a
make
couple
anymore.
other ones they don't make.
Yeah. Or is it Fujifilm stopped making?
Yes, Fuji's stopped. They have stopped making like all their films minus like 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't find.
Yeah, Kodak's still making
And even
film.
if you have Fuji stuff, you can't get it developed really because they don't have the chemicals anymore.
Really?
The thing is, with a lot of film that has since been expired, like they used very specific and certain chemicals that just are not produced anymore.
Interesting.
There's a whole movie called Kodachrome where the whole plot of the film is they shot an old expired roll of Kodachrome and the chemicals don't exist, so they go on a road trip to California to one specific lab who can still develop like their last rolls of Kodachrome.
That sounds really cool. That's really neat. I've been wanting to learn more about film photography. I have a number of old
I
film
am your
cameras.
guy. That was my job.
and my grandfather did a lot of photography, and
Yes.
he had a full like darkroom lab in his house when my mom was a kid. So I'd love to get into that and learn more about that. But yeah, back to Party Room Film
Yes.
Festival. You made Obligation in
did.
a day. Why didn't you make something before that? I know you say you were busy, but you were on leave, as I understand it.
No, I was not.
You
we
weren't?
had, we had
Okay.
not had the baby up to that point.
Okay.
We no, we had the baby. It
Yeah, because he's in the film.
Hold on, I'm thinking timeline.
When was he born?
He was born August 1st.
Okay, you had a month.
I had a month.
When you were
Okay.
on leave.
We
So
had a rough first month. Though.
That's fair. That's fair.
so here's what I'll say.
We had a really rough first month. I usually don't defend it, but I will say we had a very rough first month.
That's fair.
Okay,
That's
so-
fair. I apologize. I'm ragging him because everybody else would probably want me to.
Oh, it's okay. Here's what I will say. Contrary to popular belief, I had a film ready to go, written, that I was so excited about. So the thing I wanted to do is I wanted to use Paul and Trevor because
Okay.
I loved their back-to-back films. I thought they were funny.
Yep.
And my whole thing this year was I was going for laughs. I wanted
Yep.
to make something that could just make people fall over and laugh. And I'm like, Paul, Trevor, that's the key. Everybody loves everything they're in. So I wrote something specifically for them. I messaged Paul, he was good to go. I messaged Trevor, he was good to go. Where it fell apart was our schedule with all of our baby appointments and when they were available. Because when the moment everything got announced, I'm like, I have a very small window of time before I can't do anything really.
Yep.
So I was on it doing this, and it's just nothing was working out between their schedule, our schedule. More stuff was going on. So I think it was at the end of June. I think June is the first.
June is when, we have June and July is the official
So I
time,
knew,
and then August is the grace period.
yeah, starting in July, we had to do appointments for the baby every single week. So I knew July was pretty much going to be out because I can't leave. Plus, I didn't want to leave a 9-month pregnant wife at home while I'm off making some kind of movie. So I knew I had June, and I tried to be like, if I go down like this night, come back again that night, I could not make it work.
Yep.
But I was really sad because out of all the things that I have not had come through, last year's movie that I didn't get to make was the one I was really sad about, because I genuinely think I would have been in the running for the Golden Dewey had I made it.
Are you going to try to make it this year?
No.
No?
I have another thing that is kind of really deep in my heart that I want to do.
Okay.
But I will tell you very briefly what I was going to do, because I loved it.
You don't want to save it for another year?
I don't want to save it for another year.
Okay.
I don't like taking like a bunch of old ideas and just recycling them.
Yeah.
Basically the gist was we had to use a plunger.
Yeah.
A lot easier than a Nickelback CD.
Was that you? No, that was Trevor who did the Nickelback CD.
Yes. So,
Screw you, Trevor.
So my idea was I wanted to utilize my film equipment and like show off film cameras and stuff. So I was going to have Paul be a photographer, a nature photographer who was trying to get a photo of an elusive beast.
The plunger.
The plunger. And I had this grand idea of the plungers being like a wild species out in the wild. And I was going to have Trevor in a green screen bodysuit going out
like
there,
a flock of
running
plunger.
around with the plunger. I was just gonna stay in one location, shoot multiple times, and stack everything, and have herds of green Trevors with plungers doing all kinds of like weird, funny things.
Okay.
And Paul trying desperately to get pictures and nothing ever working. I loved the idea.
I think that would be a really fun idea. I think you could do that pretty well.
I was so excited. It's just I just the time was never right to get down there.
Yep.
And I was just like, once July hit, I'm like, okay, I'm just pulling back because there's too much going on with the pregnancy and all that stuff. And I'm just like, all right, I'm just going to pull back and focus on this at the moment.
Yeah.
And then once he was born, like Holly said, we had the first couple weeks, we had some rough stuff happen. So
Yeah.
to be honest, after the baby was born, I had forgotten about the film festival for quite a bit.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't until people were like, oh, this is your last chance to do stuff, I really kind of started coming back and thinking about.
Yeah, no, I totally
About
understand.
it.
I mean, I rag on you because I love you, but like having a kid is huge, and and doing that right in the middle of like trying to get something made is like even the little thing that you made is, we're so thankful that you got something in, because it just fills out the festival that much more, and then it feels like we're all a part of it, even if some of us can't show up to it. So. Thanks for making something.
Yeah,
and I'm the guilty one who still has a film that I need to make, a backlog film. So we'll see if that ever happens. But so, plungers. What was your favorite film of this year? This most recent year.
So my two favorites, I'm torn between the two of them.
Okay.
I loved Pegged.
Pegged was fantastic. Pegged was beautiful.
I just liked all the jokes and stuff in it. But I really liked Perfect.
Perfect was so fun.
I really liked Perfect, and I was sitting there. I'm like, come on, win something, because it's just so quirky and different. And I loved it because I'm like, it's different than anything else that was shown, that has been shown. Really, it's just the style.
Yeah.
Like, it was so cool, and I'm like, that's really the one my heart went to.
It was very creative. He did a really good job, and I loved how he got a lot of the different guys in on it. Like the scene with him and Andrew on the log, and like he came to they were up in Columbus for a convention, and so he shot that piece on my couch. It was a ton of fun. It was really, really neat. I know that Perfect was definitely one of my favorite as well. I loved Pegged because, and I mean, it's one of the most beautiful films we've had.
It's one of the most well done.
It was very well done for the limitations that we have for
It's a movie
Party
that
Room.
I think could just be, you could put that in a festival and it would just stack up really well.
Yeah. And so I really enjoyed that one, and I loved. I mean, Tick Tick.
Yes.
we're always excited to see what Levi comes up with, and the musicality of his films is always perfect. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to interview him later as well. I haven't gotten to him yet, so I'll give that little spoiler. But yeah. So do you have any? You said you had an idea for this year.
I do.
Do you want to share anything?
I don't
Are you
wanna
doing
share
a
anything.
sequel to a certain notorious film?
No.
Okay.
No. As much as I want to do that and I would like to do that, I can't say it's not going to happen.
Yep.
It's not in the cards this year.
Yep.
Because I'm really dedicated to making something people are going to like
Okay.
and enjoy.
Yep.
I enjoyed last year's.
Thank you.
Horrible.
I was so nervous about
Obligation?
last.
Obligation or yeah.
Oh, I was so
It
nervous
was
about
cute.
showing Obligation because, like, all the way up until it was like time for it to be shown, I told Holly, I'm watching all the films. I'm like, I did not submit a film. Like, this isn't a film. This is just.
That was adorable.
This is
It was
This
cute.
is just me being dumb.
It was you being like, yeah, but I mean, like, you had just had a kid. We got to see Augie for the first time.
Yes.
And, like, yeah, I mean, it was good. We still all are mad about you throwing the camera, but
It served its purpose.
It served its purpose.
No, so
Now-
this year, like, go back to that for a second. No,
Yeah.
this year, I'm doing something. Well, if the rules don't completely bomb my plans.
Okay.
I told
what would the rules have to do to bomb your plans?
basically the rules would have to require me to do something very specific story-wise. Like, it's kind of like you have to do it in this style, or you have to include this particular, like, scene or something.
Okay,
Like,
but I mean, that's not something that, like, we really do.
I know. Well, I'm just saying, I'm saying, like, I don't count anything out rules-wise.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I love my idea because it's something different that I think is really unexpected for me to do.
Okay. Are you trying to make something people want to see? Is that what you said? You said that a second ago, didn't you?
I want to make people laugh.
Okay.
I want something that just people are just gonna really enjoy, but also because of, like, last year I didn't really get to do what I wanted to do. I just want to make something, like, really solid, really good.
Nice.
Like, I just want it. Like, I just spent money and upgraded my phone. I really want to push the limits of this new iPhone. I want to make something. I want people to watch my film this year, and I want them to just be like, this isn't made on a phone. This is just a film.
Nice.
Like that's really what I'm going for. But the specific thing that I want to do, as far as, like, it's not something that I think people would expect me to come up with or me to do. Mm-hmm. It's very inspired off of a recent show that Holly has started rewatching. You know what I'm talking about.
What show?
What show have we just recently started rewatching that Augie loves the lead
Oh,
female
SpongeBob?
in?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
No, it's I'm not going to say what it is because that kind of gives off the tone of my film, but it's an angsty teen drama from the 90s.
Okay.
Yeah. But we've been rewatching it, and it's really... I was like, that's everything. But it's just something that I've been thinking about for a while. I think it's going to be perfect for Party Room. I'm really excited for it, and I really hope that I can make it with whatever the rules are.
Yeah. I'm really excited to see what Andrew comes up with for the rules now that football is over.
I know.
So he can focus on
He
that.
has no distractions.
He has no
to-
distractions other than his full-time job with the government. But that's just that doesn't matter, really. Party room matters. Only party room
Party
matters.
Room's more important than the government.
It is. It really is. It holds us together far better than the government does. So you've got a clear idea.
Yes.
What kind of things are you hoping to... What kind of things from the rules might help you out then?
Oh gosh, might help me out.
Yeah.
It would really help out if I could, if Andrew would allow the best soundtrack award.
So I agree with him on a lot of statements that, like, I'm okay with that if we're actually putting together our own soundtrack and not just using popular songs.
Yes.
So, like, that I'm fine with. And, like, I mean, obviously, like, I feel like a lot of people would just pretty much instantly vote for Levi or any song that Levi made. It's in a film.
I think when he started posting that, like, my thing was, I think my rebuttal was, yeah, but it's the utilization of stuff.
It is, but
Yeah.
like we all know that probably that's not going to be the way that it gets voted.
I
that's
know.
that's the
I know.
issue, I think.
And I see, I have my own like personal biases of I'm like it doesn't matter if you use popular songs as long as they like work and they really help the film and they make it. But something like that would help.
It's more that kind of thing too. Is though like also like I don't know, feels more subjective.
Yeah.
Fewer of us are like Levi's the only person who's like really an audio guy, a musician
Yes.
as well. So like we're all kind of just guessing at what we like then, and so then that makes it a little bit harder. Whereas more of us have a better understanding, I think, of like cinematography and stuff like that. So like that makes a little bit more sense.
Yes.
Because it is something that we do a little bit more of. Because like even if that was the case, like I use royalty-free music in all of my stuff.
I usually try to,
But or like music that I've
Yeah.
paid for in some capacity. But like even still, I'm not doing anything like revolutionary with it. I'm not making the soundtrack for myself like Levi is or anything like that. So I feel like that like makes it a little bit harder. Whereas like we are all like, because it's cinematography, we all have to like shoot our own film. So we can't rely on external things to create that for us the same way that we can with sound. But I'm excited to see what people make. Is there anyone that you want to work with this year? You mentioned wanting to do something with like Paul and Trevor. Do you still want to include them in this one, or is there anyone else that you really want to work?
I would love
with?
to. I would really love to work with anybody, but somebody I really would like to work with would be Levi because of the music aspect that you mentioned. But there was another question you asked on Tanner's that goes along with me wanting to work on Levi. You asked like what kind of style or genre of film would you like? So like I want to work with Levi, but style genre of film, I specifically want to work with Levi because for some reason I'm crazy and I'm like, you know what Party Room needs? I think it needs a musical.
That would be fun.
Like and I don't mean just like a new Hamilton style musical. I mean like Showboat, old like 60s, 70s, like
Singing in the Rain,
a proper musical.
A proper film musical,
like, I wanna
because there's a lot of musicals I think that are like start out as stage musicals that are adapted to film and do really well.
Yes,
but like something like Singing in the Rain or some of the old ones from the 60s, 70s,
something like
are
that.
really classic musicals that were designed specifically for film. White Christmas is my favorite Christmas movie of all time because it's such a good musical.
Yes.
So yeah, no, that'd be really fun. I'd love to see that. I think, I mean, absolutely. Like if you're doing that, you have to partner up with Tanner, or not Tanner, Levi in some way, so that you can make that happen. That would be a lot though, and it would be really fun. I also just want to see, like, I hope, like, legitimately that, like, if you do that at some point, I hope your required talent is like Andrew King or Zach, and you have to make them then sing. So
Andrew's
that would be
already
fun.
sang in a film. I need to get like Zach.
Has he?
I need to get Matt Stice for a musical.
Matt would be hilarious in a musical. I also don't think he'd do it, but he might.
That's true.
That would be really, really funny though. And we'll just watch; it'll happen. And he's got a voice like an angel, like, and it'll like slingshot his career into Broadway. Just tall, lanky Matt doing Broadway.
Listen, back at Asbury, I took acting 1 with Matt Stice.
Really?
And he was Jeff Day's favorite, like one of his favorite people.
Why?
I think
Nothing against Matt at all. It's just like I wouldn't expect that because Matt is such a very he's a very straightforward and reserved person. So I'm just curious what Jeff Day loved about Matt.
I think it was because
in that way,
everything Matt did, like Jeff Day would be like, okay, now give me more emotion. I think Matt, it was always like his like drier delivery.
Okay. Yep.
And whatnot. He's like, give me more emotion, Matt. Higher dryness. I just remember like every time Matt would get up to do a scene, we'd just be like, let's go. Here we go.
That would be a lot of fun. I love Matt. I'm hoping to maybe make time to work with Matt more this year. But yeah, Heather and I were talking about making our like vacation, just going down and staying in Kentucky for a week during the filming period.
Yes.
And just like being like, hey, we're here for a week and I don't have anything to do, so
Yeah,
let's
and I said
shoot
something
stuff.
similar. I wanted to like rent an Airbnb and just be like, hey, whoever can come, I have a place for everybody to stay for a weekend.
That'd be so much
and
fun.
Just come and we're gonna go shoot. Then we have a place to come back to.
Yeah.
Like no stress of like going home, coming back. So I want to do something with people. I was part of Matt's Bargain Batman shoot.
Yeah.
And I just loved like so many people were there. So many people were helping. I love the shoots where everybody's all there doing stuff because I haven't really gotten a chance to do a shoot like that yet, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to do one film where it's just like everybody comes, everybody does something, we all do it together.
Yeah.
So-
My film this year was shot in pieces, and so like Zach came up and shot a little bit with me, and then like I shot different pieces with my dad, and then like the big part with like the computer head like was just
Yeah.
me and Heather and a friend doing it late one night in
Yeah.
town, and like that's fun, but like that kind of guerrilla filmmaking is a lot of fun, but like doing something more like that, or like Heather got to participate in Trevor's film,
Which one?
the Le Plombier.
Oh, yes.
Like, and that was just done in a day, and like a bunch of like I think Matt, Zach, Sam, Heather, and Callie and Ellen were all there.
Yeah.
And just like did it during the day, and then they started editing it. Like it was like the end of July or something like that,
and
right?
and Sam's game night film. There were
Yeah.
tons of people there for that, and it was just so much fun because it was so ridiculous. Holly got to just lay on the floor the whole time, pretty much.
Yeah, because Holly was the body, wasn't
Yes.
she? Yeah. And then you're like 2 years ago, your film was
Death by Friendship.
Yeah. How was it? Tell me a little bit about that. That was a lot of fun to see.
Oh, I was having trouble coming up with an idea, and Sam threw out the basic idea of the whole thing, and I
Yep.
ran with it.
Okay.
And it was just a process of like I was just started throwing stuff into that film, and we did the same thing. We did that in like I think 3 different shoot chunks.
Yeah.
I really had a great ending with Landers in it, but it
Okay.
just time-wise I couldn't get with Landers
Yeah.
to do the ending. So that's why like that film had like such a rushed, like weird like ending of, hey, I don't have time to do this. Can you just say this line? It's because I just didn't have time to do the actual what I wrote.
Yeah,
the actual
yeah, yeah.
ending that I wrote. But no, that everything that we did for that film, again, it was Holly, me, Sam, and Ellen, but it was a bunch of fun. We got to run around, do stuff. I got Sam to crawl on his hands and knees in like water and mud and stuff. So like,
Because he was the fish person, wasn't
yes,
he?
he was. Yes, he was. And I felt so bad. It was so hot that day too.
Oh, wow. You said something that made me think of another question, but then I lost it. Shoot. What? I lost it. Oh, yeah. So, as you know, I'm writing Sam's script
Yes.
this year.
Yes.
What is something that I could put in the script that he would hate but have to do?
Something what would he hate? See, I think Sam, the thing is, it's hard because Sam's up for the challenge of anything. Like, I would say, like, just a serious romantic scene. Like,
Okay.
no joke. Just,
Okay.
like, this scene, it's just a serious romantic scene. Like, everything before and after could be a joke, but just give me one serious, like, dramatic romantic moment.
Okay.
Because I think Sam is somebody who goes every moment of his film is going for laughs.
Yeah.
And I would just love to see him do something just like straight to the point, straight to the point.
Yep.
No intention of a laugh.
Okay, I could see that. He did pretty well with Into the Bloodline 2.
Yes.
In making that serious scene where Sam's character comes up and like has a conversation with Ellen's character. But no, I get what you mean. Just something that like kind of blurs into like the full on like Jane Austen kind of
Yes.
hard line romance kind of thing could be kind of funny. Okay. I'll take that into consideration. I've got some good ideas. Andrew and I have been working on it, and I think it's going to be hilarious.
I don't know if I've ever been more excited for one of Sam's films.
I'm so excited, and like I told him when we talked most recently, like, you have to go hard on this because it's hilarious and it's gonna be great. Like, you have to go hard.
I hope he asked me to do stuff in it because I'm just like, all right, I'm ready. Because if I'm right, you're writing it, but he kind of like has full reign with how to do it,
how to execute it. Yes.
So I'm excited because I just want to see what he does with somebody else's stuff, something not from his head.
Yeah, I mean, you'll see his episode at some point, but he talked about how, like, he's like, oh, on one hand, I'm really excited about it because I don't have to write anything.
Yeah.
But he's like, also, I like writing things, and I feel like I'm a pretty good scriptwriter. So you took away my favorite part. So
See,
we'll have to see what happens.
I'm the complete opposite. I'm like, hey, if somebody wants to write something for me,
Same.
do it, and I will go and I will shoot it.
Yep.
So, like, maybe not this year because I'm already deep into something, but if somebody wants to write my film next year, I'm not gonna argue.
I honestly think it'd be really fun one year to just do a script swap.
That's what I was saying, like, early on this year when I was talking to Sam about, like, what would be good. I'm like, I would love if, like, we write scripts and then we swap, or if we do, like, if they go and they do, like, AI generated ideas and we have to, like, pick out of a hat or something, just something like that.
Yeah.
I love that. I can come up with ideas, but I am a trash writer.
It's hard for me to take the time to write it out. Like, I'll come up with like small portions of ideas, or like specifically, like, I will have visual ideas. So like I'll have like ideas of like a scene that I want to make.
Yes.
So like for mine, like in my head, I had that scene of like the tunnel and the computer headed guy like walking down menacingly. And so like that's where that whole thing kind of came from. And then I had like also the idea of like the wall of TV screens.
Yes.
Was another like visual idea that I had in my head, and then figure out, okay, how do I, like, where do I put these pieces together to make something cohesive?
That's how my film right now for this year is coming together. I have all these like small little scene ideas.
Yep.
And I'm like, how do I connect these? Really, it's I have this idea, and if I do it how exactly I want to, this is going to be like a 20-minute movie. How do I make this an 8-minute movie? So, but I have all these scene ideas, and I'm just like, okay, how do I connect this all? How do I make this concise but flow?
I will say taking something larger and cutting it down will often end up making it better.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
God, Todd and the Devil was 20 minutes long when Paul and I started editing it, like after the initial like 2 script edit that Paul did. And then we spent like a day like cutting it down.
My documentary back at school about Crank and Boom.
Yep. I had Crank and Boom a couple weeks ago.
Hey,
it was delicious.
They oh goodness, that documentary that we made, the first draft of it I think was 19 minutes or something. It just because they gave us so much stuff, and like we just liked everything they gave, and every time we just go and we would revise it, and Bandy would see there's like too much, cut it down. Too much, cut it down. We got it down to like 8 minutes. He's like, you don't need that, cut it out. And I'm like, yeah, we do. Like, it's getting too short. He's like, you don't need it. And then it ended up becoming really well.
Yeah, no, I mean, a lot of, I mean, and so much of it too, like sometimes you're really close to something like that. Like I'm sure Andrew or Aaron could like expound on something like that with his most recent documentary. But like I know all last year I was working on a shorter documentary, like 20-minute long documentary about like a potato grower in Nebraska, and like that was a nightmare because like we had like, I mean, oh my gosh, interviews that were like an hour and a half long.
Yeah.
Multiple times with the same people at different times in the season, and like going through all that and trying to figure out like, okay, how do we, like, what is the story we're piecing together here?
Yeah.
And how do we get it down to what makes sense is a challenge. So, yeah. So, but it often ends up making something better, and getting someone else to take a look at something.
Yeah.
Often, like with fresh eyes, is going to help a lot because you just get stuck on it, and you can't see the forest for the trees sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else to ask. If you had to come up with a way to surprise somebody for a podcast in the group,
Okay.
pick somebody, and how would you do it? Since everybody knows
Since everybody knows.
yeah, the game already.
Let's see. I'm trying to think. I'm cycling through people.
Yep.
I mean, the obvious thing is fly to Washington D.C.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's in the budget for the podcast.
If anyone wants to donate towards the podcast, now's the time. I will put the Venmo link in the description.
Just have somebody. My mind keeps coming back to Andrew because I think that's like one of the harder ones to do.
Yeah, Andrew's gonna be a challenge.
Just find a way to I assume he uses like Teams or Zoom or something at his job.
Yeah.
Just find a way to, if you can't get to him in person, find a way to already have everything up so he just walks in and you're just on his screen.
That would be funny. That would actually be really clever. If you could figure out a way to do that.
Like par from actually going there or finding a time when he's here, just again find like a time he is just not expecting it. And he's like, I only have 5 minutes to talk.
No, you're gonna have an hour.
Yeah.
I'll make sure you have an hour.
I'm trying to think of other people. Like you could really do it. I like Jacob. I love his thing. You haven't done Jacob yet, have you? Or have you? Don't know.
You don't know.
I would say with Jacob, literally talk to his wife or something, and just find a way. Since he made that like guys, nobody's safe. Just find a way to literally find him on a street.
That would be fun.
And just like round a corner, walk up behind him.
Yeah.
Do it like very horror-esque. It's like he's sitting there like it's like waiting to order McDonald's or something. Just be like, "Are you ready for the podcast?" In line at Taco Bell, find a way to get in his car. Are you ready for the podcast?
That would be funny. That would be really, really funny.
Actually, that would be fun.
Well,
to do.
actually, other people know. I've been in a car already, so
I was about to say, I'm like that would be really cool. Do it kind of like a carpool karaoke kind of set up.
Yep.
So,
yeah. So, what are your plans for this year? Anything exciting happening this year? You had a kid, so that is exciting in itself.
August 1st is his first birthday.
That'll be fun.
So we're already kind of coming up with ideas for that. Next month is my 31st birthday.
Oh, wow.
So we're already coming up with stuff for that. We're moving into a new apartment next week.
Oh, exciting.
So that's again, today, like we talked yesterday about like, oh, today's a clean day. And she's like, let's have a date day. And I'm like, okay, but we still have to clean.
Yeah.
So we're cleaning tonight. So,
Yep.
But aside from that, I'm really excited for Party Room. I'm really excited for Party Room. Been looking forward to it since last year.
Yep.
We're going to Tennessee in June or July? June. Going to Tennessee with a group of friends for 4 days or something.
Mm-hmm.
So super excited for that. It's going to be August's first trip, like away from Ohio.
Okay.
We're going to go down to Pigeon Forge, stay in a big cabin and stuff.
Nice.
So, and all of our friends are super excited to have him there. Really excited for that. And then something that I've been doing since November? I think I started in November. So, my job is very unfulfilling creatively because it's very by the books, by the schedule. So I have always had the dream of I just want to make a film and go to festivals.
Okay.
So I'm pushing myself so hard to work on an actual draft of writing a short film.
Okay.
Like a proper 20-ish minute short film.
Yeah.
Because I want to have something. So when I start reaching out to people, I'm like, hey, I want to do this thing, but I want to have a concrete idea to bring to people. Mm-hmm. So since November, I've been researching something really, really intently. I've been watching so many YouTube videos about this. I'm trying to adapt a PC game into a short film. obscure like horror game from 2017, and I've been like on all like the fan Wikipedias. I've been watched all these like videos of playthroughs, of background, of what like the sequel of the games, like playthrough and background and stuff. So I've been really working hard to try and form this really weird, obscure game that the game itself doesn't have a story, but there is a bigger story into like some kind of unique short film.
Okay.
So I'm hoping maybe towards the end of the year I'll have something put together and written that I can be like, hey, I want to do this thing. Would you be interested in helping with it?
That's really cool. Awesome.
It's just I've always, like, aside from like Party Room, I've always just wanted to make a movie, like a proper, well done, well shot movie. And I'm just like, you know what? By the end of this year, I want to have something written and ready to potentially take around to people like, hey, I want to do this. You want to do this? You want to help me with this? Like, yeah. So that's kind of like a little labor of love that I'm trying to do right now.
That's super cool, though. Awesome. Now, we were talking earlier about Lepage too.
Yes.
What if you were given somebody else's film? So a film, like pick a film that's already been made, and you have to make a sequel to it.
Okay. Pick a film that's already made a sequel.
From the Party Room, obviously.
I want a film that doesn't have a sequel.
Yeah.
So for Party Room 3,
Yep.
I asked Zach if I could have his permission to make a sequel to Wet.
Okay.
I had a whole idea and everything. I was asking if he still had like the camera, the costume, the alien thing, if his friends there, if his people would be up to do something. And he said yes, but I didn't have a lot of time to get to Indiana and stuff, and I just ended up doing another thing. But now that there's 2 more years of films, I think this is funny. I think I would like to make the 3rd part of a trilogy for End of the Bloodline.
Okay, so the third installment.
The third installment of End of the Bloodline.
Where would it go from the ending that Sam made? Because it feels pretty wrapped up at the end of End of the Bloodline 2.
Nothing's wrapped up. Nothing's ever wrapped up. You can always bring it back.
Fair. I mean, they've done that too many times.
I know.
With Star Wars and other films and Indiana Jones and...
I just like what Sam does, and I joked with him, like, before he even made the second one, I'm like, what if I did the sequel to End of the Bloodline and everything? I joked with him about that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wasn't serious. I'm like, I know he's going to do something for it, but I would love to just... Also, because it kind of wrapped up, I'd just love to be like, it's not.
It's not.
Well, Wet, like the sequel for that, I'm like, the sequel for that, it had so much to do with the first one, but it went in a direction that was completely contrary to everything in the first
completely
one.
Subverts it.
Yeah, it was like just a completely different toned movie, but it had all of the same people, stuff, and everything. It was just so one of those two.
That'd be fun.
I loved Wet. I think Wet's one of like
Wet's a lot of fun.
I think it's like one of my top 3
Okay.
of the entire festival.
There's so many, like there's over 40 now, which is insane.
Yes.
And like I don't even remember all of them sometimes. Like we were putting together that list, and what was it? Heather mentioned one. I can't remember which one, but like I almost forgot about Kill Happy when we were making the list for Andrew's.
How do you forget about that one?
Things. I don't know, because I was thinking about the other films and like putting on my top ones, and like obviously Girlfriend is a Screen is like towards the very top, and Pegged is fantastic, and Perfect is so good, and I like my own films, and it's just so much fun to see what people make, and I'm so excited for it to keep going. So like we're at 5 years now, and we'll be 10 years and 5 more years.
I know.
Like,
and
we'll see how long it goes.
It's like what you said, like phone stuff is getting so crazy now. Like, it's Kill Happy, Pegged, like Meaningless, Jacob's film from year 2. Like they're just really well done films. And I'm excited that now we have stuff where you can make legitimate, good, like really solid, high-end looking stuff.
Surprisingly, like high-end looking, yeah.
Like that's like the year that I challenged Matt Stice. He did Bargain Batman. I did the
Death by Friendship.
that one, yes. I did that. Like originally, like that year, I just wanted to do something that was like, this is just a movie. Like that year, last year, before, like I just wanted to do something like, I just want this to look like a movie. I want to suspend disbelief for like 8 minutes. Just be like, this isn't a party room film. This is just a movie that I'm watching. Like your film from last year was very much like that. It's like
that's what I was going for with that one. I enjoy doing something like that.
But like I haven't done a film like that yet, where it's just a movie. I guess Les Pièges kind of. I was in the frame of mind of that when I shot that. Yeah. But I think that's why I always say, I'm like, I don't think I've ever topped Les Pièges, because.
Maybe not in that fashion.
Listen. It's a joke. Like it's kind of a joke because of what it was. I love that movie. I don't know why.
Good.
I
love your stuff.
I love it. That's, you know what? Maybe I will make the sequel just to trigger everybody. like, guess what? There's gonna be 2 butts this year.
Well,
and they will be male.
And yours.
No. No.
They have to be.
No, because I'm not going to honor the rule.
You won't honor the Mitchell-Judy rule.
No, I want to make an amendment to the rule. Like, this is your second warning.
People have heard Sam's episode by now, but you got to hear about the original. I believe he said that you read the original script for Into the Bloodline 2.
Yes, I did. No, I didn't read it. He told me.
Okay, he told you about.
He told it to me.
Okay.
Yes.
Because he read it for me.
Oh, did he?
On the podcast.
See, I haven't heard like the written out version, but he told me about it.
And basically the conclusion was there would be a Sam Maddox rule following that production for sure.
I loved the ending.
Oh, it made me. I died laughing. Absolutely died laughing.
I loved it. I thought it was perfect.
But it was a lot.
I thought it was perfect. I loved it. Everybody now knows what it is. I've known what it is. I knew what it was before he made the movie.
Yep.
And I was on the phone with him when he told me. I'm like, do it. Just do it.
Well, we're all thankful he didn't. But
one thing.
Yeah.
Just because of the fun little firestorm that I released a while ago with my undying love for Midsummer, Sam texted me. He's like, you know what would be so funny if we made Midsummer.
Okay, I'm down for that adaptation of Midsummer.
Like,
I might actually use that as the title for his podcast episode now.
It's out now.
It's out there. Yeah, Midsummer. All right. Well, it's been a lot of fun to catch up with you.
Absolutely.
I'm excited to see what you create. I'm only an hour and a half away, so if you ever need help, shoot me a message.
I will let you know.
Or if you just want to come hang out, you can come to my office and hang out. So
cool.
Just hanging out.
Insert line here.
Just hanging out.
Hanging out with my family.